Up to this point, we've looked at phylum Porifera, sponges, phylum Cnidaria with jellyfish and other things that fit into that same category. And now we have phylum Platyhelminthes, which is flatworms. By the time this video is over, you're going to be able to describe their body plan, their functions, and then provide some examples. The body plan, they come from 3 germ layers, and they're flatworms because they are flat. They all have bilateral symmetry. Everything from now on will have bilateral symmetry. Because they have bilateral symmetry, they have a dorsal, a backside, and a ventral side, or a belly side. And they also have anterior, or a head end, and a posterior, or a butt end. How they respire? They don't have a system, so no gills, no lungs. They just use diffusion, which is the same thing as saying through their cell membranes. Circulatory system, they also don't have a heart or blood vessels. Everything just happens by diffusion. They're so small and flat, they don't need blood vessels to help transport things around. Excretion, just like we had with the Cnidarians, they only have one opening, whereas we have a system where things come in one side and go out the other. Earthworms, things go in one side and out the other. Flatworms only have a mouth, so anything that is undigested comes back out the mouth. They also have flame cells, so this is for excreting extra water. So when we have osmosis that might be bringing extra water in, this helps kick it out to keep their body balanced or in homeostasis. Movement, many of them swim, or because a lot of these guys are parasites, they're going to be carried by hosts. Body support, they do not have a body cavity. I told you at the beginning that this word was going to come up again. They are therefore called acoelomates. You see the word coelom in there, which is a body cavity. A always means without. So they do not have a true body cavity. They are so thin and ribbon-like that they really don't need support. So they don't have a skeleton, a backbone, anything like that. How they reproduce? They can reproduce sexually as hermaphrodites, meaning male and female parts are both in the same organism. And some can also reproduce asexually by fission. Basically, they stick to something and then they pull into 2 pieces. Each piece becomes a new flatworm. Classification. Now there's 4 different classes. Remember, the phylum is Platyhelminthes. We can break that into 4 classes, but I'm only going to go through 3 of them. First, we have class Turbellaria. These guys are not parasites, and they are also including freshwater planarians. And what you see to the right is a planarian. If you were to take a pond sample, which is freshwater, and look at it under the microscope, you might find some of these guys. What the flatworms in Turbellaria do, they're scavengers on dead and decaying matter. You can see in the picture that they have eye spots. They're not really eyes, they can't see things clearly like we do, but it helps them to sense light intensity, so how bright it is, and the direction that light is coming from, so they can swim in the direction of the light or away from it, depending on the situation. Trematodes, class Trematoda, these are parasitic. And fluke is just another name to describe them. They're parasitic flukes, and they are leaf-shaped like the picture to the right. They have a tegument around them that helps protect from the immune system of whoever they're infecting. Things that are caused by trematodes would be swimmer's itch and schistosomiasis. Class Cestoda is a group of flatworms that are commonly known as tapeworms, and these are found in usually the intestines of a host, but can also be in the stomach. The picture to the right is a tapeworm. On one end, their head end, they have what's called a scolex, and it has hooks and suckers in there so they can, if it's in your intestines, attach to your intestines and then suck out all your nutrients as you digest them. So you're helping the parasite. Each body segment that you can see in the picture is called a proglottid, and so it keeps adding proglottids in order to grow in length. Here is a picture of the scolex. Right here you can see those suckers and hooks, and then those attach into the intestines or the tissue walls of the organ that the organism is infecting. Here are some proglottids, so the pieces just keep getting added on, and then there can be eggs and things inside the proglottids that if it breaks off, well, there's some eggs that can make a new tapeworm. Now that you've seen this video, you should know body plan of flatworms, their life functions, provide some examples of the things that belong in each class. I encourage you to take a look on the middle back table. I've set out some jars of tapeworms and flatworms. Take a look at these things and then complete the quiz and complete the column of the cheat chart. You don't need to get it checked off yet, but you should finish the Platyhelminthes column before moving on to the next part.